I think one of the biggest concerns I have is, well, first primarily as a father, but then also as a grandfather, is at some point in my life I'm going to have that talk with my kids.
I guess for me, I don't want my kid to learn all this on the playground, and I know he will. So I want to be the first one to talk to my kid about this. It's such an important thing.
Hopefully they'll carry on the thoughts and the feelings that I've had to other generations, and so I'm hoping throughout my posterity that they will truly know when to talk to their kids about Batman. When I grew up, I had Batman comics and eventually detective comics. And today we now have movies, we have games, we have cartoon series. And I want to make sure that my kids are raised in such a way that they understand the true Batman lore.
I went through a stage that I really liked Aquaman, but I guess it turned out that I'm a really big Batman fan as well. I guess what changed my mind is that Batman's the most realistic superhero there is.
When I went and asked for her hand, he took me in a room and he said, if you're going to be part of the family, we're going to have a very serious talk. We talked about religion a little bit and education stuff, but the more important stuff we talked about, he went into Batman and how we were going to train up our kids, what movies we'd let them watch and what movies we wouldn't.
I think as far as movies go, you have to start with the Dark Knight trilogy to truly understand Batman and who he is. And I think you then have to work your way backwards to the Adam West Batman movie from the 1960s.
They say you're not supposed to have a favorite. Okay, I get it. We love you all equally, right? But I think secretly every parent has a favorite. For me, it's got to be Dick Grayson, I think.
The last thing you really want is your child to have superhero identity syndrome. Krista, here's my oldest, and we started a little later in life with her, and let me show you what I mean. Krista, who's your favorite superhero?
Batman?
What about Superman?
Yeah, I like him too.
Green Lantern?
Yes.
Spider-Man?
Oh, he's good too.
Wolverine?
Yeah, I like him too.
Archie?
Yeah.
Dad, come see what Krista did to my room.
No, let's not.
Like I said, way too late. There's two words that we just don't allow in this house, and they are Ben Affleck. My wife and I will go to every extreme to make sure that our children and grandchildren never accept Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, the Spider-Man pep sheets. Those his grandma gave him. Okay, first you should know I didn't do that. He brought him home. His grandma had given him just before Christmas when we went up and visited her, and he was so happy to have them. So of course, as parents, we didn't know, do we let this kind of stuff in our house? And if we do, where does it stop? We let him sleep in them that night, and I haven't told her dad about this, but we let him sleep in them that night. The next morning, his bed sheets were gone, and we told him that Ben Affleck stole them.
My dad was never really violent when he was whipping me. It was more like he whipped comic books at me and movies and games and just every type of Batman stuff. He bought me a watch.
You can see why it's important to make sure that they understand what Batman stands for.
I think there's a Batman in me for sure. I think there's a Batman in everyone.
Hey, babe, have you seen my Batman shirt?
I think it might be upstairs.
Cool, thanks, babe.